All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut with Bobby Atkins, and we're the Real Estate Jerky Veterans Edition, and it is Tuesday.
Yeah, how you feeling, man?
Good. Yesterday was Columbus Day, or some people would say Indigenous whatever day.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I just think it's whatever. Columbus really didn't even find America.
No.
So who cares? Move on. It's just another day, a federal holiday. They'll change it to something else down the road.
Yeah, and they just keep adding federal holidays, man. Because I know, like I always joke, like every time I have a closing, that following Monday is going to be a holiday.
Right.
It's just like
there's holidays about every month now.
I think,
and some months there's 2 in them.
Yeah, I want to say there's either 13 or 14 federal holidays now, because my brother is a federal employee, and
so he's like, more holidays, more holidays.
And I get 3 weeks of vacation too.
I remember when I was in the Navy, it's so long ago, right? They had finally did Martin Luther King's birthday in January. We got it off. The rest of the country didn't, right? That was a federal holiday, not observed by the state. And for my wife, for Kaiser, for years, didn't have that day off.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what are you saying there, Kaiser? No, I'm just kidding. The states adopt everything, give them some time off, and move on. All right, what do we want to talk about today? The hottest thing I've been seeing since last week, and I've been talking about it, is so if you were going to, and I know this is for veterans right now, and I'll get to that, but if you were going to buy a duplex before, it was 15% down for if you're going to live in one of them and you're going to rent out the other one, it's 15% down. Yes, you can use the rents of the other one to qualify.
Yeah.
Then a triplex and a fourplex, they were 25% down, even if you were going to live in one of them, unless you bought it FHA, because that was only 3.5% down. The problem with FHA is how they calculate the income from the rents. You don't get, it's not that you don't get this, you only get 75% of it. You get less of it most of the time, to where they don't qualify. And then they have to be knocked over to conventional, and they'd have to put 15% down or add the parent on, all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Now it's only 5% down, and people don't understand how huge that is.
Yeah.
You're already putting, most people are already putting down 5% conventional anyway. Now, why don't you, instead of buying a single family home and having a payment of $4,000 a month to $5,000 a month, go buy a multifamily, a triplex, fourplex, and actually have only whatever's left over after the rents from the other 2 to 3 units are applied.
Yeah.
Right. That could be only $2,000 on a $5,000 or $6,000 a month payment.
Well, and something else to keep in mind as well is say you had a fourplex, right, and you wanted to turn one into a short-term rental for like travel nurses, you could make even more per month in the
correct. But let's first get it first. Then you can do that afterwards. Because we talked about it before. Buy a single family home and rent out one of the rooms to travel nurses, Airbnb, that whole thing. Because now that realtor.com is attached to Airbnb, you can figure out what you can rent a room for. But what if it's a whole one side of a unit and you're renting that per night, per week for travel nurses for 6 months, 3 months at a time to 6 months at a time? You make a lot of money on that stuff.
Yeah.
But when we help you qualify, we want to see what tenants are going to be in there, right? So there's 2 ways we look at it. We look at it, what are the current rents? Or if it's vacant, what is the rent numbers that can come on that property? You want the rent numbers, current rents on that property. So the best thing that somebody can do is go into one of these properties that they want to sell it, get everybody out of it, clean it all up, and then sell it for full rate, and then people can get the full price. Because I looked at one, I've been looking at these, and I'm saying, agents, you need to go through all these and find ones that work for your buyers and get your buyers into this. This could help you close 2 to 3 deals that you didn't plan on closing.
Yeah.
There's one in Turlock that was like 700,000, but the rents are only 800, 750, and 650 for those. And I'm like, okay, we have not kept up with the times. Those are like 1990 rents, and we're in.
There's probably some absentee landlords that live,
they paid cash for it, and it was they only paid 200,000. They got it back in 2008, 2009 for cheap.
Yeah, well, and for landlords that do own properties like this is why it's important for you to keep up, your rents at the market rate, especially now with the rent cap. Like, just explain to your tenants when they're moving in, look, you're getting an increase every month. Every
year.
The state
every year.
Yeah, the state.
Not every month.
Sorry, man. First cup of coffee.
No, I just like, what, every month?
Yeah.
No, and then the way it is now with the new laws, where if you're going to try to sell the single family home and kick them out because you're going to sell it to somebody or rent it to family members or whatever that is, Well, you wouldn't have that same issue with the multifamily.
Yeah.
Because you're not putting your, you know what I mean? You just set it up to where every year this is what the rents are going up. But it doesn't matter. Everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, well, some of these aren't in really nice neighborhoods, like, in other areas. Well, guess what? If there's, 20 of them in that neighborhood, well, guess what? We can change that neighborhood real quick by putting people in there.
Yeah. I mean, I remember years ago talking about the economic cycle of neighborhoods, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how obviously they all start out great, then they over decades to go downhill, and then people reinvest in those neighborhoods and they go back up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
and this is a prime and I'm not trying to get the flippers involved, but this is that flippers can come into some of these and go, okay, I'm going to give you this because that's what it's really worth, and then I'm going to flip it and then sell it to someone who wants to live in one of them, rent out the other parts, and actually change the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Or you could just do the same thing, but the issue is really going to be how much of the rents are and where your numbers are. Because some people make really good money, but they don't want a big payment. I have some people a veteran buying up in Alvarez County, and they're coming from the Bay Area, and they make really good money, but they only want, a $400,000 house and the payment that they want.
Yeah.
Just because of where they are. And this could change. They could go buy a multifamily. So let's talk as a VA. All right. So if you're going to want to buy one of these as a veteran, you have to qualify for the full payment. They don't allow rents to be used. And it has to do with the fact that veterans have to be on a loan with a veteran and qualify with another veteran or their spouse. Having multiple people in these units and using the rents, that's not the same thing. Are you following me here?
Yeah.
So you have to qualify for the whole thing, which most people go, that's wrong. Yes, it is. But most veterans can qualify if, depending on their income, for the full payment, because we can push the ratios really high and do other stuff and have compensating factors. Because I helped a guy buy a duplex. He was renting. He was in one side and he bought the whole thing. And he's really happy.
Excellent.
Until he put his kids in the other one. They're not paying.
Okay, well, that's not a surprise.
Yeah, shocking. Why do you think we can't use family member as leases? So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I rent a reference. Yeah, I've been paying my dad, rent for $200 for last year.
No, I'm talking about if you're buying a place and you're going to if you have a family member in it, right, or refinancing or whatever.
Oh, okay.
We're not going to. That's like, okay, you're not going to force them to pay.
Gotcha. Well, I was going to say same thing when I was doing like rental references.
Right.
Yeah.
It works the same way. They're going to lie. They're going to help out their family members more than anything else. Yeah. So that's a huge thing right there. Right now, the two markets that are really big are veterans. You guys can actually get in a home now. And there was a huge thing about inventory increasing nationwide, and everybody worried about this bubble and all the Chicken Littles out of everywhere saying how, oh, told you, bubble's coming, inventory is increasing. Last week, our inventory nationwide went up like 2,200.
Yeah, nationwide.
Yeah, and we're down. We'd have to add another 650,000 homes to be where we normally are at this time of the year as inventories nationwide supposed to be. So same week last week, nationwide in 2015 was 1.186 million. Now, and we're at 537,000.
You know what I often wonder sometimes is, like, say government regulations went out the window and they said, guys, we just got to build a ton of houses. Do we still have enough of those people in the trades to actually build this inventory that we need?
No, that's the problem. We don't. That's why there are programs for women to get into trades, and they pay for your scholarships to learn. We had them on the radio on Real Estate Jerky talking about, hey, we need people in trades, and so hitting the schools up drastically, because the average person in trades is in their 50s, late 40s, early 50s. Yeah. They're not going to be around very much longer. And it's amazing how much plumbers can make right now, because there aren't that many plumbers.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Supply and demand.
I was going to
just say, like the housing.
Yeah. You have a major, like commercial water line leak. You can make $8,000 in a day fixing that.
Yeah. So if you're, if you're a veteran and you're getting out, go into the trades. It's a great place. And, if you're in something else and you're struggling right now and you're younger, get in the trades. I'm telling you, it's where the money is.
Heating and cooling too, right? I mean,
that's the trades. Anything to do with house or building or any of that kind of stuff. Yes, it's huge.
Yeah.
Because we need to build more homes. In California, we're probably up like 2.7 million now. because we don't build enough each month, and we haven't been building enough, and it's so hard to start them. And the cost for affordable housing, they call it a affordable housing apartment complex in Sacramento. It's a 5-story. They start off at 670,000. That's affordable.
Yeah.
So affordable is all relative to where you live, I guess.
Yeah. So now we're going that way. We're just building them higher, huh?
Well, I'm just saying that's how expensive it is in that complex.
Yeah.
And they consider that affordable. 90% of the people who have their home right now can't afford their own home if they had to go get it again.
I know. Trust me. I do the numbers on my house all the time.
I'm just saying in general. So
yeah,
it's right now it's going to get worse, not better. And just stop waiting, because it's not going to get any better. And then, I was on a podcast. I said a few things, and the guy cut it up and put it on. And I was like, wow, that's actually some great information I gave. It was all about how Dave Ramsey's saying to buy now and all that stuff. And in a year from now, 2 years from now, and 5 years from now, you're going to wish you would have bought. And that's so true. And you need to stop. I know everybody's worried. Everybody can't, it's so hard to afford it. Well, let's run some numbers and see what we can do. Because there are some places you can get the seller to help out. I know Tuolumne County is really back to where we were 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So they'll give some money towards closing costs, and let's buy that rate down.
Awesome.
All right, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you. All right. Thank you for being here, for watching, and we really appreciate it. Please let us know if you like what we do. Best way you can do that is subscribe to our YouTube channels. Mine's Ed Parcaut, and Bobby is, what's yours?
It is Robert Atkins, Realtor. Okay. Everything's consistent now.
Right there. Very good. All right. Make it a great day.